being out there when they lock in their wings and come in. And
wow, it was just almost like time had stopped for a little bit. The sky was just moving, the water was moving, everything was happening all at once. They just kept coming back and circling around, and we just kind of paused and took it all in. And
well, this is duck hunter's dream day right here. They're just coming as far as you can see. Get 'em.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic season of Ducks Unlimited TV. I'm Ashley Ward. In this chapter of America's longest running waterfowl series, we welcome new DUTV co-host Fred Zink to the show. Fred's waterfowl hunting expertise and experience make him a great addition to the DUTV family. Fred joined DU volunteers and staff in September hunting North Dakota public prairie potholes for ducks. The Missouri Coatue region of North Dakota is covered in them, providing critical breeding habitat in North America's duck factory. Get ready for another great season next on DUTV.
So on this hunt in North Dakota, we're traveling up and we're hunting with Jeremy Olson and his family.
My relationship with the Olson family began through the North Dakota Envirothon program, and he told me that he's been looking for someone to take him duck hunting for 40-some years, and it just hasn't happened yet.
I jokingly say I'm a failed waterfowler.
That's crazy, there's duck hunters everywhere. You say, yeah, you know, people always say they're gonna take someone, but the commitment, it takes a lot of extra time.
The DU guys answered those questions and said, hey, we can help you with that. We can get you the information.
And they ask a lot of questions. So we took some time, actually drove around the countryside. I wanted to take the opportunity to go out and try to find a good hunt for them, but also during this time to try to teach them how to be more successful.
Because when you first start out hunting, it's pretty intimidating to go out there, just drive out into the country on your own.
And you guys are having this in your backyard, such a great resource you have. And finding a small little water source or slough, like this one over here, you know, we watched ducks dumping that all day yesterday. And knowing where those are the last to freeze up, and what I mean by that is, but there's gonna be a handful of them that are spring fed, that always have water in them, even during drought years, and those would be the ones that have cattails around them, tend to have them, and they don't freeze very quick.
So when you pick a spot like this, then what's the best water to hunt? Is it the small little piece there, right along the fence line, right along the cattails?
Well, what you'll find, you won't find it right now because it's the time of the year, because the birds are not flocking, they're not grouping together. They don't have that natural flocking instinct this time of year because it's not migrating time yet. But once they do, there'll be an X. So this is an X. This is a given area. But on that water hole will be a given X, and there'll be a spot where the ducks just prefer. I'll go down 2 or 3 hills, got a spotting scope, and I'll sit there and watch and find out exactly the 10 feet area that they want to be. That's a good spot right there. Because I've been on so many duck hunts where I was 10 yards off, 20 yards off. Just like you're talking about walleye fishing on the river. There's boulders down there, there's rocks. That guy can be from here, that sign, can't catch nothing, and you're catching them one right after another. Hey, what kind of lure you use, or what kind of bait? What? Lure doesn't know. It's right there. Yep. That's why we're catching them. Same deal with the ducks.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Blades, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited. Browning Firearms, the best there is. And by Ducks Unlimited's Ducks Expo at Texas Motor Speedway, celebrating everything outdoors.
One great part about North Dakota, and it's been this way for a long, long time since I've been a kid, North Dakota has a tremendous amount of public hunting area.
There's around 200 and some thousand acres available through the Wildlife Management Area System through North Dakota Game and Fish Department. And currently at this time for the fall 2019 hunting season, there's 791,000 acres of private land enrolled in our plots program. If you're familiar with the triangle yellow sign, that represents the three pillars of the program: private landowners, wildlife, and sportsmen. Obviously, the biggest partner we have with that program is a private landowner. One of the other pillars of it is the sportsmen. Sportsmen are the main funding source for the program, so that money comes in from hunting license dollars, turns right back around. We put that on the ground in the form of habitat development or habitat enhancements and public access.
We actually found ourselves on day 2 hunting one of these spots. Oh yeah. Get him. Max. Little guys, but that's good on the grill. So how'd you guys get involved in hunting? I know you've been fishing your entire life, but...
I grew up in a house where we camped 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with fishing as a kid. And
you were talking about your kids got into it, been in deer hunting and all kinds.
yeah, and so we've, just as a family, we've been hunting and fishing our whole career. My understanding and knowledge of DU goes back many years, because when I started getting into full-time wildfire, we were doing prescribed burns for DU. But in 2005, I was a volunteer firefighter and got burned, and there was 3 years where I couldn't get out in the outdoors.
We lost everything. You know, we lost 5 businesses, we lost all that we had, we got kicked out from our house. We needed a way to provide for our family. The outdoors was the only way we could do that.
We couldn't afford a box of 22 shells to take our kids out shooting, or shotgun shells to go morning dove hunting. And so we talked to the boys about doing something, turning some money. And
you know, back when I was 8 years old, my older brother Dan was 10 years old, we started our own tackle business to help provide food, money, stuff we needed at that time for our family.
They started tying little walleye rigs. And, you know, as a parent, we were hoping they'd sell enough to buy a couple boxes of shells.
So getting to do the stuff we do in the outdoors, you know, it has totally taught me countless life lessons. It's taught me how to successfully run the fishing tackle business that I own. Being in the fishing world, being in the hunting world, conservation is one of the biggest ways that you can keep the sport alive.
And the one thing that really impressed me about DU is they're about doing something that works well for everybody. That, you know, they're thinking about how a management practice affects a farmer. They're thinking about how it affects a hunter, somebody who's just out bird watching.
Our time together in the outdoors it's something you can cherish for the rest of your life. It's making those memories that you wouldn't be able to make if you were just going out with your brother or your dad by himself.
It's amazing how many people that I talk to that did not grow up in a family that hunted that still hunts. You know what I mean? There's a lot more than that than you think.
Yeah. There's a lot of folks that don't go hunting or fishing because nobody asks them, or nobody answers the questions they have.
In general, across fisheries and wildlife programs in the U.S., we see more and more students coming in with limited hunting and fishing backgrounds and
don't have the greatest understanding of wildlife management from the North American model,
where hunting and fishing is critical for conservation and conservation dollars.
Because if you really think about this, the federal refuges in the United States have been bought by federal duck stamp money. But a lot of these refuges are not getting managed for duck hunters. They're getting managed for camping. They're getting managed for birders. They're getting managed for a lot of things, and that's all good. But we have to make sure they're also, number one, being managed for waterfowl. We had the opportunity to take these students from all over North Dakota, teach them about hunting, duck calling, decoys, training your dog, shooting, what it's like to be a conservationist. Then, after a day of workshop, the next day, which is Sunday, we got to take them duck hunting, some of them for the very first time. It was a great experience.
The COVID-19 pandemic brought the world to a standstill while our communities rallied around each other in a tremendous show of support and respect for each other and America. We're now stronger and determined to rebuild our country economically, physically, and spiritually. Ducks Unlimited is forever committed to wetlands restoration and conservation, but we need your help to get it done. We need our strength, our volunteer network, and membership to carry our mission forward. Your donations and volunteer efforts all around the country ensure that Ducks Unlimited can and will provide the habitat for a flourishing North American waterfowl population. The best way to help is to attend a local event, online or in person, to participate in our online auctions and raffles, and become a DU member and volunteer. We need your support, and together we will continue to fill the skies with waterfowl, today, tomorrow, and forever. To find a local DU chapter in your community and make a difference, visit ducks.org.
DUTV is powered by Browning Ammunition, the best there is. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. And Plano Synergy and Zink Calls, a champion in every call.
I think it's really important to go into the conservation field and get some of that hunting experience, because a lot of the stakeholders you're working with are hunters and they are some of the biggest conservation supporters. So being able to not only relate to the hunter but also to the experience, I think is huge and very fundamental in this field.
Anymore, it's a very competitive field to get into, and so you almost need for experience to have experience to get the first jobs. And so Ducks Unlimited wanted to be a heavy participant in being able to help train the next generation.
Good stance, big gun mount. Well, awesome.
We went out around a couple stations, some shooting, which was really awesome to get a little bit of practice in.
That all right?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
Be able to be one-on-one with a mentor and get some tips on how to shoot better and what I was doing wrong and learning how to trust myself. That was really awesome. And what to look for too, just the little things, that was just really cool to get some guidance on that. And we learned how to work with the dogs, which is really neat.
If they're that well trained, there has to be like hours upon hours and hours of being devoted specifically to training this dog to do these very specific actions.
And then I think the coolest part of the whole thing was Sunday, the following day, we're going to get to take them out, put them in a duck blind, and let them see why we love waterfowl hunting, eating and harvesting waterfowl, and the conservation aspect of why it's so important. But we woke up in the morning, it was like a hurricane. It's blowing probably 25 mile an hour, gusts to 30, 35, raining sideways. We get there, we go down, we set the A-frame blinds up, because the key to any hunter, especially a new hunter, is you want a good experience. We went out, set the blinds, and had everything ready, and we came back and we got Chelsea and Ayla, and thank God the rain let off a little bit. So the ducks, we're gonna let them get as close as we possibly can get them, because the wind's blowing pretty hard, and when you go to shoot, they're gonna flare out pretty quick. And I will call the shot. I'll say, get them, okay? All right, here comes some on the right.
I was completely blown away in the moment. Wow, it was just almost like time had stopped for a little bit, just like all those birds coming in.
Get them.
Max.
Windy day, it's tough shooting. That's pretty cool, huh? Max has got to go get that bird. It's a pretty long swim, isn't it? I knew it was going to be a good hunt. You can just tell how the ducks are working a spot. Here's another one coming. It was a nice bottom, natural wetland surrounded by cattails.
It was just exciting and exhilarating from the moment we got there.
Go ahead. Good job. Max, that was a good shot, the last one. I mean, you can't ask for a better weather day for duck hunting. These girls' first duck hunt, and with the wind blowing, it's probably blowing 35, and the ducks get right in tight. As soon as they shoot, it blows out. Just very difficult shooting, but the girls are doing really well at it. All right, here comes some more, here comes some more. You load it up. Mr. Max is coming in. Ease down. Ease down. You see them all? Go ahead. Oh yeah. We call it a hammer. Left side hammer.
I know I got that one.
Oh yeah.
We're just letting the birds get as close to the water and down out of this wind. We got a big hill right behind us. Get them as low as possible. There you go, Mr. Max. Back. A lot of gadwall. There's some widgeon in here. Well, this is duck hunter's dream day right here. They're just coming as far as you can see. As soon as Max gets in there, we'll shoot another round here.
DUTV is brought to you by Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation. That's Higdon. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Closed captioning for Ducks Unlimited Television is brought to you by Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
We're just gonna be a little bit patient, make sure we're shooting the real close ones and ones that are real tight, okay? Here we go. Get them. Good job. Ella's a little sharpshooter now, I'm telling you. Max, I'm gonna start calling her Miss Ayla. I don't want her mad at me. Nice widgeon right there. Beautiful. Here, big boy. That's a beautiful Drake widgeon you got right there. Look at that one right there.
It's a first.
Yeah!
When you're taking someone out on their first hunt, it doesn't end there. The hunt needs to continue.
Just to be able to interact kind of with the wildlife, understand the elements of the technique that goes into and the hard work that goes into planning the hunt. Yeah, it creates, I think, a lot of respect.
Boy, that was close, wasn't it? All right, here we got two coming.
You need to be consistent, because consistency is what's gonna get someone to the point where they can continue to hunt.
Go ahead. Max, that was a good shot, the last one. That one's gonna be a tough one to get, but he'll get it. There we go, he got it. See a dog, see how it can help you? Because it's so muddy there. Oh my gosh, look at that right there. They're like 10 feet right there. You never want to shoot like when your dog's out there. When that shot comes out, it could skip off. So when your dog's on the water like that, you just got to enjoy the moment, you know? You don't always have to shoot. Look at that right there. That's a Drake mallard. That's like the most famous duck in the world right there. It's what a majority of all duck hunters try to get right there. It's a beautiful one. We got some coming right here. Ease down.
The most important part of the hunt, and the thing that I was most impressed about, was how tough these girls were.
And once you get it, you get that feeling of pride of, hey, the work's paid off. The cold weather was worth sitting in. I think it's a worthwhile opportunity, and take a chance.
Get them.
If you know someone, ask them if they have the equipment that you could tag along with, and maybe just try it out a couple times.
Heck yeah. Miss Ayla's on it.
They could have just went back to the truck after the hunt was over, but they carried decoys out, they carried the ducks out, and to see those girls
Number one, enjoying their first duck hunt. Number two, being a part of the duck hunt. And number three, working hard meant a lot to me, and it was a day that, to be honest with you, I'll never forget in the field.
It takes a whole lot of dedicated people like this to help us put conservation on the ground and to help be a part of this future so that that conservation continues.
The future of waterfowl and wetlands conservation relies heavily on the next generation of dedicated field biologists. Educating these professionals on the art of waterfowl hunting is an important step in their development. DU's work, along with other agencies introducing young students to waterfowl hunting tradition, grows their understanding of the far-reaching effects of wetlands conservation. A big thanks to co-host Fred Zink for joining the DU TV family. On many episodes, he delivers our Duck Talk Calling Tips segment in addition to hosting thrilling hunts around North America. On behalf of everyone at Ducks Unlimited, thanks for watching and see you next time on DU TV.